The road is long and winding. I will search up and down. This poem comes from Chu Yuan's Li Sa. The original meaning is, the road to seeking truth is still long, but I will relentlessly pursue and explore. Why did Xiaofeng quote this sentence? Because the world of the Tower of Fantasy is like this. Human beings begin the era of cosmic navigation. Everyone wants to find one piece. Becoming a man like the Pirate King. But facing unknown extraterrestrial remains. Faced with unknown extraterrestrial technology. Facing unknown extraterrestrial creatures. Where should humanity go? In the player's left wait, right wait. The next story of Marshville is finally online. The research base of aliens appears. The truth of Nanin's blackness will also be revealed. But in what year did all of this happen? Let's first take a look at the narration in the plot. Provide evidence first. Well, we can find whether it's Ling Han or Yen Niao. All using years or years of rhetoric to blur the concept of time. But can this stop Xiaofeng? Let's cut the time back to the time before the crusade against advanced darkness. Yen Niao once mentioned 2 time points. 8 years ago, Nanin, the chief officer of Yuhang. It is speculated that the site of Hendeka County ruins. The time of the game is still 2712 AD. So Nanin found Hendeka County ruins in 2704 AD. Yen Niao also said that after that, all members of the exploration team went missing. It was not until 3 years ago that the Black Nanin appeared in Domain 9. That is, in the year 2709 AD. In the PV of the official website, we know the transformation of Nanin. It takes time to break through the cocoon and turn into a butterfly. So the departure time is between 2704 and 2709. But this is still a range. We need more specific time. Fortunately, we still have evidence. This evidence comes from the Domain 9 tabloid collected by Yen Niao. It also mentioned the time when Department of Yuhang found the Hendeka County relics. The tabloid record was 6 years ago. So we can know the publication date of this tabloid. It was in the year 2710 AD. The tabloid also mentioned that from discovering relics to going to relics. 3 years apart. So we can know that the departure time is exactly 2707 AD. Let's reorganize the timeline. In 2704 AD, Nanin discovered the ruins of Hendeka County. In 2707 AD, Nanin led the people to. In 2709 AD, Black Nanin appeared. In 2710 AD, the editor published a small newspaper and published conspiracy theories. This way everything is reasonable. The time of discovery and exploration of Hendeka County ruins is not special. But the year when the Black Nanin appeared was very special. 2709 AD. Esperia and Vera have successfully established contact. Since the number of planes in the Tower of Fantasy has increased and it can fold and jump with each other. The events on each plane are no longer separate events. But it will affect each other. For example, the Cataclysm in AD 2664 caused unknown changes. Destroyed the shielding function of Domain 9 relics. This makes the gray space entity feel the existence of advanced darkness. So as to comprehensively invade Domain 9. For example, in AD 2712, the Sage failed in his third attempt to trace back to time retracement. Caused Domain 9 to capture Vera's coordinates. To open Celestial Gate and send Lon and Kanro to Vera for help. Besides these examples, there is a very special place in the ancient ruins. The last operating device can only be activated by darkness energy. Indeed, the energy in my body seems to echo it. It seems that this is a device that can be driven by the energy of the gray space entity. After the launch, Rebelia said that she did not know where the abyss current was going. In fact, this abyss current is the exit of the ruins. That's very interesting. After entering the ruins of ancient civilization, the protagonist's line was trapped inside. The only exit can only be opened by Rebelia with darkness energy. What if Rebelia doesn't have peers? And this is not the first archaeological site launched by Rebelia. Maybe many people don't know. There is a difference in the plot between the official PV and the game. The ruins on Fengming Island are thought to be Lan's timestamp who started the ruins. But is this really the case? Are you ready? That's right. The same person who truly activated the ruins is Rebelia. She with darkness energy is the real variable. If it weren't for Dr. Rebelia, Vera can't set up Celestial Gate to go to Domain 9. On the contrary, if the distortion of time and space on the seabed cannot be quelled, in ours will no longer exist. So whether it's Ruby's birth, whether it's Rebelia's sacrifice or not, it's meaningful. She sacrificed her human identity in pursuit of the truth. Also gained hope for humanity to uncover the truth. Leaving aside these things, have you noticed anything wrong? The installation of ancient civilization relics can be used when entering. Darkness energy must be used to go out. This means that it must have both timestamp and darkness energy. Only then can one freely enter and exit the ruins. Nanin and others are trapped in the exploration of ancient civilization relics. It's because they don't have darkness energy. Only after the conversion of Nanin was able to leave the ruins. This shows that the ancient civilization has mastered the energy of darkness and timestamp at the same time. If the relics of Fengming Island affect the abyss current, what was the impact of Nanin's launch of Hendeka County relics? That's why Xiaofeng speculates about the connection between Esperia and Vera. Reasons related to Nanin. Of course, this may just be a coincidence. But Xiaofeng's interpretation is more about evidence and basis. The development of anything should have underlying logic. Unreasonable speculation without basis. That's not an interpretation, but a fabrication. Speaking of evidence, let's just go through it all at once. This is all the copy that appeared in this plot. Next, let's move on to the theme of the video. These texts encompass all the notes from the siege caves to ancient ruins. It is divided into 5 parts. The first part is the notes left by the accompanying domain guard. It will show us a complete record of past explorations. The second part is notes from unknown individuals. It's scattered clues left by colleagues. The third part is the last words left by the last Azure Dragon adult. That's Mimi's father. The fourth part is left by Nanine. Recorded the thoughts and ideas before the conversion. Part 5 is Master Luo's suicide note. Only a few words. But entrusted the future of Domain 9 to his apprentice. Now we will restore 5 years ago based on these texts. Mystery of the disappearance of all Domain 9 executives. Master Luo, who suffered from an old disease 5 years ago, led Domain 9 executives to Ammon Pass. Restart the Skybernace and open the way to explore Hendeka County. Because the team is filled with elites from various states. They easily arrived at the trapped cave. There is also a story hidden here. But we won't go into detail here. Found the first copy here. We can tell from the records that, although the Skybernace was restarted, but the domain energy required for the furnace to operate, it's a big burden for exploration. Now we rely on the new Tower of Fantasy to support consumption. In the past, there were not only no Tower of Fantasy, still in a state of domain energy shortage. It can be seen that the exploration at that time was indeed a very risky thing. At the same time, we also learned how Domain 9 was the black sheep. Before darkness invades here. In order to protect Hendeka County, Skybernace can be suitable for human habitation. But it's always on. No wonder Domain 9 broke the seal so quickly. The second record is the guard's worship of Lord Master Luo. At least in the eyes of the public. Lord Master Luo is a man who works hard. Good leaders who devote themselves to Domain 9. Everyone also harbors hope for the discovery of the ruins. The profile also told us. The news that Lord Master Luo led a team to explore the Hendeka County relics has been announced. Maybe this is also to give Domain 9 a shot in the arm. Soon people came to Hendeka County ruins. But it's not possible to get in at this time. To activate the 3 devices around the ruins first. Pay attention to what Yen Yao said. The device will respond to the energy of the Skybernace. You know, the Skybernace was built by Domain 9 for Hendeka County. It is not a creation of ancient civilization. What the device really echoes is the Omnium energy that makes the Skybernace work. These 3 devices will display totems of ancient civilizations after startup. Once again, it really hammered the use of Omnium energy in ancient civilization. After activating the device, people can enter the ruins. But this is just a one-way entrance. Entering it is equivalent to being trapped inside. It seems like we can't leave the same way. At this point, we discovered the third copy. Same as the situation we encountered. Nanine and others are trapped inside. Under the command of Lord Master Luo, people began to search. Nanine speculated that Timestamp could activate the device. The fact proves that the speculation is correct, just like our experience. They also activated the teleportation device of ancient civilizations. Carefully observe the target distance before and after entering the barrier. We will find that we have not simply traveled through time, but it was transmitted. The interior of ancient civilization relics is actually much larger. What we are exploring is just the tip of the iceberg. After entering the first room, we found the 4th and 5th copy. Guards constantly use Timestamp to activate the devices in the relics. We are not sure if they have entered any other rooms. At least while we were exploring, we couldn't get into any other rooms. They also found Black Jade Guard here. Both are in an inactive state. By the way, these octopus monsters are mechanical creatures, not darkness. If ancient civilization were mechanical civilization, then Xiaofeng previously speculated that the living metal of Angle of Clemency. There's a possibility of a solid hammer from ancient civilizations. The sage, should you come out and explain? The densely engraved text on the sphere in the middle of the room. Regarding this point, Xiaofeng did not find any clues. Those with clues can send me a private message. The executor said a paragraph here. Are these things constantly rotating? Or are they only activated after we come in? When did the ruins start? Do you remember Xiaofeng's analysis before entering the ruins? 3 peripheral devices have been activated. Let the relics echo the Omnium energy of the Skybernace. Actually, the answer is already very clear. We started the ruins with Omnium energy. So did Nanine and others 5 years ago. But there are also differences between the 2 explorations. After Nanine and others explored, the Skybernace went out. Cut off the relics and get Omnium energy supply. However, the current supply has not been cut off. This will lay a foreshadowing for the future. The exploration of the first room is complete here. After returning the original route, come to the second room. Here is the 6th copy. But this copy leaves a small puzzle. This is not the first time the guards have entered the room. But it was left after entering this room for the second time. Different from the first room. Nanine and others have entered this room at least twice. After the first entry. Because the ruins have obtained the energy of the Skybernace. Plus, they triggered the mechanism. Black Jade Guard is activated to kill. Everyone is defeated. Nanine left the room first to protect Lord Master Luo. Zhuke and Xuanwu are responsible for the rear of the palace. This guard is also one of the retreating members. He wrote down a record outside the room. Then when the fighting subsided. Come back here and leave the copy. The most eye-catching thing in the room is the massive mechanical guards. At one point during the plot, we thought it would suddenly come back to life. But it won't wake up again. Because it is the culprit that made the last Xuanwu and Zhuke fall. The official arrangement for such an opponent. It's enough to put the newly appointed leaders in peace. Thousands of mountains are brilliant and rich fragrance. All of them are transformed by heroic souls. Domain 9 has sacrificed too much in order to fight against darkness. Although players may easily trample Black Jade Guard. But in the plot setting, their strength is on par with that of the 4 guards. Besides, this is still a supergiant. This room is also the one with the most copywriting. There are also 2 notes from unknown people. The first note begins with an exit. Why come to the room to find the exit? Because this happened before exploring the final room. According to the 9th escort record, Nanine and Master Luo went to the Jade Egg room. Azure Dragon led some people to look for an exit. The owner of this note is one of them. After they came in, they didn't find any bodies or bloodstains. Only sparkling crystals on the ground. What are these? Don't worry, they will soon find out. This is the second copy of the unknown person. Detailed description of how they were drained of vitality. How did the body become crystal again? Originally, all the crystals on the ground were teammates who had explored together before. The more the plot moves forward, the more we admire Domain 9's leader PV. The answer was already told to us at the beginning of the version. All sentient beings are cattle and horses, and make plump. This is indeed the best Chinese clothing PV in history. Also, the worst international clothing PV in history. For this reason, the international server even remade a PV. There is a special presence among these victims. That's the last Lord Azure Dragon. This is also Lord Azure Dragon's last testament. He still can't let his daughter Mimi go. Mimi, before her father's accident. Just a little princess. But after the disaster of Hendeka County calamity, Joltville is surrounded by wolves. Someone needs to oversee the overall situation. The sudden blow did not make Mimi give up on herself, but to make her grow rapidly. With the help of Fuli and Meng Jiang, becoming the true ruler of a state. From the testament, it can be seen that the previous Azure Dragon also had high expectations of Mimi. Mimi, be strong. Tianjang Hub, the destiny of the world. From now on, it will all belong to you. Speaking of Tada, is Loli addicted? Ruby, Nano, and Mimi all have knives. Everyone says that the Tower of Fantasy is not like the Apocalypse. But in fact, the Fantasy Tower is just a coffee table. It's filled with tragedies. All the previous 3 guards have fallen here. Their absorbed vitality is the source of energy for transforming Nanine. After all, the Jade Egg is just a device. Energy still relies on the sacrifice of organisms. Nanine should also know this. She's not just inheriting the will of the deceased. At the same time, their lives are still flowing in her body. The deceased has passed away, and the living will forge ahead with determination. From this perspective, no matter how stubborn Nanine is, she should. Ming Jing proposed that it would be a long process to seize the vitality. But Azure Dragon and the Unknown record the process very quickly. It can be speculated that the reason for the speed is that Nanine, the conversion device, has been activated. But it still feels strange. Why are Zhu Kei and Xuanwu sucked so fast? Or were they trapped in the ruins for a long time? They only found them falling when they were searching for the exit. A reasonable guess is that there is a problem with the suction function of the relics. Otherwise, if the protagonist's journey goes so smoothly, it would really be a halo added. They quickly arrived at the 3rd room. Here are the 7th and 8th copies. Confirmed that after the fall of Zhu Kei and Xuanwu, Nanine and others came here. The strength of Black Jade Guard can also be seen from the text. It is comparable to the top of Azure Dragon. Then the next step was to find Dark Form. Through the resonance between Timestamp and Dark Form, Nanine and others learned a lot of information. This is a research base for ancient civilizations. It is likely to also include an introduction to Jade Eggs. But Dark Form's wrong way of opening led to damage. So much so that later on, we didn't receive much information about Dark Form. There are also side quests in the game. It was restored based on the information left by the Dark Form. Images of Nanine in the past. This also supports Ming Jing's guess. Dark Form is a storage device. But it's also scary. Except for Nanine, all the restored people have been drained of vitality. This indicates that the ruins have not only seized vitality. At the same time, it also absorbs memories. After completing the exploration of 3 rooms, it will be the main cabin. The most prominent thing in the room is here. The true image of aliens. But there's a question here. Tian Lang thinks aliens are statues. Rebellia said there were no signs of life anymore. So is this a statue or a remains? If it's a statue, then this is the hall. Not the control panel or something like that. But why does the statue have a sitting posture? If it's a wreckage, don't everyone want to study it? So do you prefer statues or wreckage? Found the 9th copy here. Nanine and others came to the lower entrance. At this time, Azure Dragon goes to look for an exit. This is also the origin of the 2nd room note-taking. But one thing to note is that they did not activate the device we discovered. Because they can't even start it. It needs darkness energy to start. And we only started smoothly with Rebellia. However, after starting up, Rebellia temporarily stopped the exploration due to danger. This is a discovery that has not been found in the notes before. It is too dangerous to enter it rashly, so we can only put this mystery on now. Let's investigate other places. But this color is obviously abyss current going out. There's also a problem with the door here. Come here before fully exploring 3 rooms. The door won't open. So it is speculated that the opening and closing of the door may be related to many devices. If we haven't fully explored the other 3 rooms, the door won't open either. This explains why, whether in the past or present. Clearly the first room to enter. But everyone only explored at the end. Carrying the elevator, we also arrived at the room where Jade Egg was located. This is the place in the PV record. Here, Lord Master Luo entrusted Domain 9 to Nanine. The survival of Domain 9 depends on you alone. It's also here that Nanine left everything behind. Only live for the hope of Domain 9. She will use her own way to completely solve the disaster of darkness. Here are the last 2 notes of Nanine. The first note is more like a suicide note. The second article introduces that the Jade Egg is a device implied by totems. This is also the inspiration source for Xiao Feng's previous interpretation. There is a foreshadowing here. That's Nanine, who just sensed the darkness energy. She doesn't know the result of the conversion. So what exactly is the energy inside the Jade Egg? Still questionable. If Nanine knew it was darkness, the energy might give up. But it is certain that the creatures it transforms can release darkness energy. At this point, the exploration is over. The following content was discussed in the previous video. Finally, let's talk about the foreshadowing before. Why is it said that the ruins were activated, instead of constantly being active? When we go out, you will find that the ruins are no longer accessible. But after Nanine came out, we can still enter. This indicates that the ruins have not truly been closed. After Nanine came out, it was really closed. After we come out, the Skybernace is still supplying energy to 3 units. Unable to enter the ruins because it is still in a startup state. It closed the entrance itself. Just like you can open a power-off protective door. But couldn't open a running protective door. Too much energy supply is not a good thing. That's all for this issue. Follow Xiaofeng. Taking you to experience a different fantasy tower.